Good morning. What's up, Facebook Live? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's Knowledge by Nikki at 9. That's 9 Central. I'm here today to finish up what we didn't finish last week. I hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving. Mine was great. It was restful. Plenty of food. Loved ones around me. It was really a great day. I took time to actually kind of rest my brain a little bit. As you all can see, I've been a blonde girl for, forever, guys. And lo and behold, you all know, for those of you all that know me, I teach color, right? And I love color. I have worn color forever. I don't even know how long, 20 years or more. And about a month ago, guys, now listen to this. Now, a month ago, I was coloring my hair like I normally do, same product, same everything, and I almost look like Hitch, guys. I almost look like Hitch. I literally, my head swole up. It was a burn that was, I can't even describe it. It looked like acid. It felt like acid. Then started swelling up a little bit around my forehead. It just was real bad. So I'm like, I know I didn't wait to get 50 years old to become allergic to color, right? So because I know a lot about color and I work with chemists and I called some of them up and they told me different things to try, and y'all, I didn't switch color, I didn't switch stuff, I didn't switch developer, I didn't switch everything. And it got better, but I'm almost nervous now. I said everything still gave me somewhat of the same sensation where when I talk about y'all feel like I dumped my hair in ashes. I was like, oh my God. So y'all know I'm gonna figure this thing out, right? I'm gonna figure this thing out with color. I told my husband, who's a barber, I said, look, just cut everything down, which I ain't got no problem with hair. You know, I had cancer twice, y'all. I'm a cancer survivor twice, so I ain't got no problem with cutting my hair off. So I told him, just cut everything down. I'm gonna have to figure this thing out. I said, I wait to get 50 years old to all of a sudden start having an allergic reaction to color. So go figure. So that's why my hair is dark. I just got it cut down. I actually like it, although I still miss my color, right? Let me know how y'all like it. I'm getting ready. I just hired a personal trainer. My last travel date is next week. So you know what? I may rock it dark until I go back and start being on the road, just to give myself a break. Y'all like it? It's okay? All right, cool. Because I was like, I said I'm too old to be allergic to color, so I might just rock this for a little while. You know, I was like, whatever, cut it down. It'll make life easy. You know, but I just feel like I teach color. I got to have some color. So anyway, but I can't go through what I went through the last time I colored it. I had tears in my eyes. It was bad, y'all. So anyway, let me finish today. I hope everybody had an awesome Thanksgiving. I hope your Thanksgiving was as great as mine. And you know, Thanksgiving is about giving thanks, you all. It is really about giving thanks. Thank you, Kendra. Look, the thing is, though, see, when my hair is short, y'all saying it looks good. I appreciate that. That means I got to have on makeup every day. I can't go without makeup. I got to have earrings on. That means I got to have it together all the time. So I can't wake up and be like, see, I got a full face of makeup on today. Full face. I said, Lord, let me do this. So let me get back. Let me get back to what I was talking about. I am like, really, this is fourth quarter, y'all. It's just like football. Fourth quarter, we ain't got but 10 minutes left in the game, and we got to get it together. We got to get this thing together. We got to change the way we think. We got to change what we do with our money. We got to change some stuff, guys. We have got to. I'm really 100% dedicated. I've said this. I'll put this out there in the universe, in the atmosphere. My last day doing hair of any sort behind the chair is December 28th, 2019. I work every other week now. I've already told my customers they don't like the conversation, but we got to have it. I'm done because I want to be able to be more dedicated to not only just doing Facebook Live, but to doing more programs, coming to people, coming to your city, doing things to kind of create this movement. I haven't talked to the people that are part of my Salon Owners Conference, but I want them to be a part of this. Well, we gonna travel. We realize some of y'all ain't gonna come to us. Some of y'all, we gotta come to y'all and get you right. So that's okay. I'm committed to doing that, but I gotta free up my time. I gotta free up my resources. And before I get into finishing what we started last week, y'all, I got to say this. I bought a book that, you know how you got some half-read books? I bought a book years ago called Necessary Endings by Henry Cloud. And you know how you, at different cycles in life, even when you read stuff, it's even like going to church. The preacher could have preached the same message 10 years ago, and because you're at a different space now in your life, you get the message differently. This is kind of what this book did for me. The book, guys, y'all got to get this book. It talks about pruning your life. Now, I didn't hear people talk about this, but I ain't never heard it said the way he said it. He used the concept of a rose, and he talked about why our lives personally and professionally don't grow. We have to understand that endings is part of life. Ain't it, but Marie, ain't it off the chain? Endings is part of life. Life cycles, things starting, things ending is the way we have to function. So let me give you just a small recap of what he talked about a rose. He said, well, let me say this. For those of us that have gotten roses, haven't you noticed that if you get some roses, you have one time you get roses, them jokers will stay blooming forever. Then another time you get them, they'll be bloomed for 2 days and then they dead, no matter what you put in the water and all that. He said the reason roses have to be pruned, and he was using it as a metaphor for life. He said roses have to be pruned because the nutrients and the things that go through a rose it's not enough to go through every life branch that goes through the rose. He said so, and he said this is for creative people. I love the analogy that he used. Creative people think they can have all these different branches that do have some life to them. He said, but what happens is the only roses that stay in full bloom the longest is the roses that prune away even some of the good branches that have some life, because if you don't, you are going to be ciphering all of the resources from what could all go to the great to dispersing them amongst everything that we think is good. So let me break that down. He said, and you got to prune them off. If you're trying to do 15 things at once, but you're good at all of them, but you're really only great in one, believe it or not, you are ciphering your resources from the thing that you could be great in to constantly giving a little bit to this, a little bit to that, a little bit to that, a little bit to that, and nothing actually gets to its full potential. You will never have that beautiful blossom bloom. He said this is what we do in life. We actually have all this stuff that's good, and we don't realize we're ciphering some of the resources, money, time, energy, all these things to the stuff all this stuff that's good instead of ending it. This is what he talks about. You got to end it and give all of your resources to the things that are great. I will use me. My salon business, even though I do every other week, is rock solid. I ain't got to wonder if they going to be there. I still make a decent income. I still make more money probably just doing hair 4 days a week than people do probably all month long. But my purpose, I've been doing hair 31 years. My purpose at this point in my life is to give what I've learned to other people. The book is called Necessary Endings. So in order for me to do that, even though what I have with the salon is still great, but it's still good, but what I have with helping build people, helping train people, helping do all this for other people so they can get there, I could be greater at that. That means the salon still takes up my time. It still takes up my mental energy. I still got to buy all these products. I still have to take part of my resources and give to this thing that's still good. But I want to be great. I want to be great. I've done it already. For 31 years, I ain't got nothing to prove. I maxed that. I mastered that. And it's time for me to prune that branch off and for me to move on. So he talks about pruning things that are good. Then he talks about you got to prune things that are actually dying and you constantly believe you can resurrect them. How many of us have been in that position? We got stuff that it's just been holding on. Okay, let me talk to us as a hairstylist. How many of us have clients that in the past or present got strings of hair and they refuse to cut it. And it ain't no restoration for that hair. That hair ain't growing back. It ain't coming. Let it go. It's done. And we try to convince them over and over and over again. You need to cut this off. You just need to let it go. But we do the same things with our lives. He talks about there are things, if you got roses in a garden and you got weeds growing around them and they're literally sucking the life out of the stuff that is healthy, but we figure we gonna go get weed feed and all this other stuff that's supposed to resurrect the yard. We gonna get all this other stuff, and what ends up happening is, if you're not careful, that thing that's dying could kill the entire rose bush. That's the way he talks about it. Then he says, the last thing, there's 3 ways to prune. The last thing is, we have things that are straight up dead. No life. Ain't doing nothing. Tagging along, hanging along, sucking the life out of everything. Just wait. Just dead weight, doing nothing. He said you got to cut the living, you got to cut the barely existing, and you got to cut the dead off. We personally and professionally have to be willing to prune our lives constantly. He said, or you will never get a beautiful set of roses. Never. I read the book, but if for some, I said this book, I think I listened to that chapter. It's chapters 2 and 3. Because I got the audio book too. I listened to it over and over because that's where we are in the 4th quarter. In the 4th quarter, it is time to prune. It's time to prune and get rid of stuff that's dead, get rid of stuff that's barely living, get rid of stuff even that has some life, but it ain't got enough life for you to extend all these resources to it. It's not. People, when I told them, look, I'm done. December 28, 2019, I'm done. I'm done. People like, why? You still look like you got a good business. I said it is good. But it's keeping me because it's still taking up at least 30 to 40 hours or every other week of my time. And when I look at that 30 to 40 hours, when I look at the products I still got to buy, when I look at the things when I look at the energy that it takes from me, because when I'm through, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. When I look at that, it to me at this stage in life has rolled its time. It's when it's time. It's done what it needed to do. It's allowed me to learn, to know, to grow, to now be able to give that stuff back. And I want to be able to give that 35, 40, sometimes a little more than that. I want to be able to give that time, energy, and money into things like writing books, into things like using that money now to get on a plane, to now go to see the people that I coach, to now not always have to have them send me pictures, but to actually be able to walk into their salons, to rent cars, to do whatever I need to do to get to where they are so that I can be of a better assistance to them. That is what pruning is in my life. All right. So now I just needed to say that, y'all, because I'm listening to it still, and the book it's amazing. So y'all got to get it. And then I want you all to get another book. I read this book. I'm sure all of you all, any of you all that read, have read a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's way, way back. Steve Covey, he dead now. But he wrote a book that I've never heard anybody talk about that was a spinoff from that. And it was called The 8th Habit. It was called From Effectiveness to Greatness. That's what it was. It talked about the same thing. Yeah, it's one thing to be effective, but how do you become great? We look at the people in our society that have went way past just being effective, but they have become great. There is a different mindset and a different responsibility that comes with being great. It is totally different. So when you fine, your salon is running good, it's doing it, everything is wonderful, but how do I get it to be great? How do I get it to surpass even what it's doing now? That's what takes you to the next level. So let me go back through. We did last week, we did 1 through 30. This is the book, guys, that I'm doing this from. You know, I'm in Chicago, y'all, and it's snowing, and you would think people here would be accustomed to snow, but the first snow, they still drive like they ain't never seen snow, so it's accidents everywhere. But this is the book. Y'all see this? I actually put it, this is the book that I'm referring to. I actually put it in the caption today. So you all will know the name. It's 100 things that successful people do. And it is off the chain, y'all. It is such a great little book. I'll put it up here again. See that? 100 things that successful people do. That's what this is, guys. So let me go. We on number 41. This is what 41 says. I'm just going to do 41 through 80 because it's too many to do them all. The 41st one says, seek wisdom and use it. How many of us actually seek wisdom? You find somebody that's smarter than you, that knows more than you, that been through more than you, that even if you read something that's at a whole nother level than you, how many of us intentionally seek out wisdom? And I mean more than just reading the book of Proverbs. I mean really seeking out wisdom. But I do want to read something. Book of Proverbs 1:7 says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. That's the beginning of knowledge. Realizing that there's a higher power. There's something greater than you that's controlling this earth. That's the first thing. Then it talks about, but only fools despise wisdom and instruction. Only fools despise wisdom. You know, it's amazing to me how many people I run across that, for lack of a better phrase, that ain't doing nothing. But they are very unteachable. They aren't doing anything to even mention. They, for some reason, I don't know where they think they are, or they think they got it going on, and they don't. And they have the inability to listen to anyone. I don't even understand. Sometimes I've been in class, but they done told me you can't teach me nothing. All right, I do not force people to learn anything from me or anybody else. Do you? Because I have lived long enough at this stage in life where I understand what the older people used to tell me. Girl, just keep living. Keep living. Life gonna teach you some stuff, and it's gonna correct some of these things that you got and some of these ways that you got. You don't want to remain teachable? Keep living. God will allow you to fall into a pit where you're gonna have to ask for some help. You're gonna have to seek some wisdom. So seek wisdom and use it. Don't just seek it, but use it. You know, I love the fact now that we got these podcasts, and I listen to Goldcast all the time. I love it. I know some people that I talk to on a regular basis that are totally addicted to podcasts, which is great. But I ask them this question. Okay, after you got through listening to Eric Thomas and Tom Bilal and all these other people that, you know, are constantly trying to encourage you to feel a certain way and think different, what do you do with that information? What do you do? Yeah, fine, listen to it, but do something. This says seek wisdom, but use it. That means we got to act on it. We got to do something, okay? Then you have to model the best. Find somebody. I don't care if it's on TV. Look, let me tell y'all who my mentor is. And this is what, I ain't never met her, ain't never seen her, but I love me some Oprah. Y'all can't even talk about Oprah to me. I don't care. If I had to choose anybody in life that I would mimic my life and try to follow some of the patterns of what she has done, that's who it would be. It would be Oprah. It would be John Maxwell. It would be Dave Ramsey. It would be, look, I joined John Maxwell's thing. I joined Dave Ramsey's thing. If Oprah had something, I would join hers too. So I can learn how they did what they did. That's what I want to know. What did you, now I know times are different and we have to do things a little different, but I want to know, what did you do? What did you change just the way you think? Did you, I know you got to change your eating. What is it that you do? I want to model the best. That means I want to tap into whatever it is that they know. I want to read what they write, whatever I can afford to go to. If they have programs, I don't care what they got. I want to be there. That means if I got to save my pennies, because y'all know these people ain't cheap, right? Tony Robbins, if I got to save up my money and go to Tony Robbins, unleash the power within, then that's what I need to do. I want to model the people who have done it, who have figured it out. So you got to model the best. You got to find somebody worth looking at and saying, I am inspired to get to where they are. That's what you got to do, okay? So you got to model the best. Then you got to listen to this, y'all. Now, this I know is a struggle. You have to have the courage to fail. You have to be willing on this journey to mess up some stuff. My ex-mother-in-law used to say something, and this was probably the best statement that she ever has. She had a lot of great statements, but this was one of my favorite. She would say, if God didn't think we were going to make mistakes, he would not have put erasers on pencils. That she would say that all the time. How often can you buy a pencil without an eraser on it? Like almost never. You can't even find them without an eraser on it. Matter of fact, they knew you was going to make even more mistakes than that eraser could hold. So they gave you could buy extra erasers. You're going to mess up. You're going to fail. You're going to have some times where things don't always work out. So what? So what? Who cares if it doesn't work out? If that don't work, do something else. But I don't ever want to get to a point in my life where I'm at my end and I have all these regrets. I want to say I tried it. It didn't work. Oh, well. Now, you want to get wiser now. Don't keep doing the same stupid stuff. Now, you say, okay, that didn't work. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to do it a little different. But a lot of you all won't try. I got people wanting to open salons, but they don't want to ask for help. They don't want to seek wisdom. And then they don't want to try it. If you fail, so what? Then you figure out what you did wrong, get back up, dust yourself off, don't make that mistake no more, and you do it again. You get wiser. Half of the businesses that are successful today have gotten successful. Jeff Bezos, all of them, because they tried some stuff, it didn't work, they failed, they tried something else. That's what you do. That's what we do. So, but you got to be willing to fail. You got to have the courage to fail. Then you have to accept yourself. I just had a conversation, and this I'm going to use in real text. How many of you all have been called bougie, goody two-shoes, or something that in your mind the person meant negatively, but it was true? You know, I have this question all the time with people. I say to them, and it's funny, people will tell me so-and-so called me bougie, so-and-so called me this, that, and the other. And if I know them well, this is what I say to them. Well, it's true. So what you mad at? What you mad at? It's true. You are bougie. So what? That's who you are. So what? So what? You are goody two-shoes. So what? I had a person arguing with me about their siblings. Came at them talking about they were their parents' favorite, and the parent died. And so now the siblings are in rivalry because now what they wouldn't say when the mother was alive, now they all coming at the one sibling that, and after she got through talking, I said, you were your mama's favorite. You were. And I'm saying all that stuff to say, if someone calls you fat and you are fat, you may not like it, but it's the truth. So even though, and I know these are extreme situations, and I'm not saying that you ain't gonna feel some kind of way when somebody calls you out about something, but even after you get on the defense, you have to step back and say, but is it true? Am I fat? Do I need to lose weight? And if the answer is yes, then just take it. Just take it. Yeah, okay. And when I get tired of being fat and eating everything, I'll do what I need to do. There are some things about ourselves that we have to accept before we can even correct them. And so many of us are not aware or are not honest with ourselves about things that we do, that it keeps us from fixing them. So you have to accept yourself. You got to at least accept it and then try to fix it. It is absolutely necessary. I don't care, even if it's some stuff you're not proud of, it is who you are. I have the most wayward personality of life. I will change some furniture, change a wall. I will flip a whole room literally overnight. I had people, a contractor that used to work for me. I don't know where he is. I wish I could find him. And he worked for me for like 20 years doing everything, electrical, plumbing, all of that. And it was so funny. One day, somebody seen him doing some work, and they asked him, they said, you know, what all do you do for Nikki? You know what he told me? He told them, and I was there, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh. He said, I don't do nothing but put stuff up and take it back down. That's what I do for her. Put it up, take it down, move it. And I had to laugh. But it was true. It was true. I'd had that joker. He'll flip a whole room. I'd change some plumbing and put a plumbing on the other. I mean, I would do some radical changes. That's just who I am. I've been that way forever. So that's part of, I'm going to fix it one day and get a little settled on leaving a room and leaving some stuff. But that's who I am. And now I'll be like, yep, that's what he does for me. And that's the end of that. So we got to accept ourselves. We got to watch and manage our thoughts. Let me tell you something about watching and managing your thoughts. The only way you can watch and manage your thoughts is to protect what you put in your mind. You have to protect what you listen to. You have to protect what you read. Look, I'm going to use me again. I am totally addicted to ID, to Investigation Discovery TV. Anybody like ID? Put some up. Y'all love ID? I love the Investigation Discovery channel. It ain't nothing but murder TV. All they doing is murder, 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 and more murder. Serial killers. And I find myself watching ID so much that I be walking around here paranoid. I'm like, okay, for real. I'm going to have to go on a media fast. And I'm going to have to not watch ID for like a while because I'm feeding my mind, even though I just enjoy them solving it. But at the same token, my mind is subliminally internalizing nothing but murder, 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 and more murder. So I have to watch what I listen to. I said, you know what? I can't watch ID no more. So I literally had to wean myself off of ID because I love that station. My husband would be like, you trying to kill somebody? I'm like, I'm the most non-violent person in the world, but I got to watch what I feed my mind. I got to watch what I listen to. How many of us have heard a song, cussing and all that? We don't even like the song, and you find yourself humming it. You don't even like that song, but it's because it entered your mind. And you keep, so that the only way you can manage your thoughts is you have to protect what you're around. I don't care how strong-minded you are. If you stay around something long enough, a certain person, a certain listening to stuff, it's going to enter your mind. And you're going to find yourself internalizing it even if you don't want to. You have to remember people. You know, me and my husband had this little debate one day, and it was about giving accolades. It was about when all of us have had someone influence some of our decisions. Everybody has had someone at some point in life, especially if you made the right turn, that influenced you doing what you did. And his debate was somebody he knows that never gives anybody accolades, and they act like everything was themselves and was them. And he's like, they shouldn't do that. They should at some point be able to give people their credit. And I'm like, well, you know, I was like, I didn't feel it was always necessary for them to be talking about that, you know, so-and-so, but because of so-and-so, I'm doing. But after I look back at it, it is necessary. Every opportunity you get, you should be willing to give people who, whether it's publicly or personally, you should be willing to give people their credit. You should be willing to, as they say, give them their flowers while they're living. Tell people how much they matter to certain decisions that you made. Remember them. And don't always just remember them to yourself. You need to tell people this. If you get an opportunity to put them on a platform publicly, do that. Let the world know you didn't get here by yourself. Everybody needed some help. It's because of this one, whether it was your mama, your daddy, your teacher, I don't care who it was. All of us have been positively affected by somebody. And we have to remember those people. Okay, so that's 46. Then we have to discover what drives us. You have to, all of us are trying to figure out why we're here. We're all trying to figure out, what did God create me for? What is my purpose? Why do I do what I do? All of us are trying to figure this thing out. We have let me tell you something I learned. The only way you really can well, no, let me not say the only. One way you can figure out what really drives you and where your passions are. I want everybody to do this if you don't know this. Find people who knew you, like older people who knew you when you were a child. Like knew you when you was little. Like been around your life, I would say, for maybe 20 years or more. Ask them what it is that they always saw you doing when you were young. Ask them. Because you know one thing that's so awesome about children? Children literally are drawn to exactly what drives them. They only want to do what drives. They're only gonna do what drives them. Because if you make them do something else, they're gonna pout about it. And they do what's natural for them. I have seen kids be leaders. I have seen a 2-year-old always be the leader over bigger kids than her. But she's a natural leader. She always wants to be in charge. So go figure that when she got older, she would have jobs that had her in management position or supervisory positions or whatever it is. You'll be amazed that if you go back, because you know life takes us a different direction and we just do what we got to do. But if you go back and if you ask people that knew you when you were younger, when you did what came natural to you, they'll tell you, baby, you was always doing this, or you were always doing that. You always wanted to do this thing or that. They will be able to help you remember where your true drive really lies. It's amazing. I've had people do that, and they came back to me and they said, you know what? They said I always did this, and it literally is like something jumped up in me when they said it. Like, you are absolutely right. I used to love doing this, and they have since changed what they do, and now they're operating in the thing that drives them. So it may take a little searching for us to figure that out. Appreciate what you have. That's number 48. Appreciate what you got. People are always complaining about what they don't have and what ain't, and what, you know what, I know it seems very cliche-ish, but there's always somebody worse off than you. That is the truth. And at some point, you just got to say, whatever with what I don't have. You got to make a choice to look at the glass half full instead of half empty. You have to change your perspective on where you are in your life. Because believe it or not, every time you talk about what you don't have and what isn't, it takes energy away from you. You literally can feel devoid of energy every time you talk about what I ain't got, what ain't right, what should be, what so-and-so should have done. It literally drains you. Literally. So you got to be careful about talking about what isn't and speak more about what is. That is a conscious, intentional decision. It does not come naturally. If you find yourself, Simon Sinek, y'all know I've talked about him forever. I love him. He wrote the books Start With Why, Find Your Why, and Leaders Eat Last. He is phenomenal. He actually talked about athletes. I think I talked about this last week. He said every time you ask an athlete, a professional athlete, like say they're going into the Super Bowl or whatever it is, are they nervous? They never will say they're nervous. They don't even use that term. They have automatically, he said, changed the way they see nervousness as excitement. He said they'll say, I'm just excited. That's their way of interpreting nervous. They're excited. Because nervous is not a term that any of us want to be nervous. That's not a good feeling. So they have automatically conditioned themselves as professional athletes to say, no, I'm excited. Because that's the way they have chosen to view being nervous. We got to do the same, y'all. We got to do the same. We got to change them terms up, right? Then it goes into 49, make peace with your parents. If you got some parents, and that's with everybody, if you got some people that you are estranged from, and this been forever and 30 years ago, and you don't even know why y'all still not speaking, especially your parents, you got to make peace with that thing. You got to make peace with that. I don't care what they did, what they didn't do. Make peace with your parents. I have seen people that did not do that before their parents died, and they literally live with this regret that they can never change. They can never change that. If you have a parent that you have accessibility to, and you all have not spoken, have not done whatever for years, for months, over whatever, it's not about who's right and who's wrong. Sometimes you just have to say, and this was actually, I think I talked about this last week, you have to sometime even apologize when you're wrong. You know what? Whatever. I just want to say I'm sorry for my part. Let's start over. Let's do whatever. I'm telling y'all, and life is too short. It really is too short, and we have got to do differently, guys. So, and that's kids, parents. I don't care which way you go. Then you have to laugh more. I'm guilty of that. I've always been like super serious. I have consciously made myself, I'm a movie buff. I love movies. I just saw Creed 2 last night, y'all. Y'all would have thought I was around the ring, y'all. I was watching Creed 2. I'm a Rocky fan. Y'all would have thought I was at the show Around the Ring. I'm punching with them, and I'm that deep into the whole Rocky thing, y'all. But I love movies, so I intentionally now watch comedies more. I said, you know what, because life is serious enough. Let me put some funny stuff on. Let me go to a comedy show. Let me put myself in positions to laugh more. Because I'm always serious. So but my point is I have to consciously do that. I'm going to look at a comedy. My daughter really helps because she loves comedies, and Me and her go back and forth, like when we're at the shop over what we're going to watch. I say, you put in what you want to put in, because I know she going to put in something funny. She going to put in something funny. I'm going to put in something they probably shooting up 1,000 people, and, you know, I like action movies. So laugh more. Stay unique. That is something that it is a wonderful thing to be able to be you. Be uniquely you. Yeah, there are some people, some things that we just, pattern after others, but if you believe that who you are is who God called you to be, and it's unique and it's you, and you ain't hurting nobody, and then stay unique. Don't let people convince you to follow into the status quo. No. If that's not what you want to do, don't do it. Do you. Okay? Sleep well. Now, let me tell y'all something about this. I don't play when it comes to my sleep. I literally, if somebody asks me to go somewhere, I literally say, okay, that mean if I go to bed at 12, that mean I got 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. I be counting hours, y'all, because I need 8. I can function without 8, but I prefer 8. Sleep is so important to me, and at some places, it ain't worth me losing no sleep over. I'm like, I ain't losing no sleep over that. That ain't worth me. I believe in sleeping. And if you as you get older, for my millennials that are watching this, that y'all don't think y'all need no sleep, keep getting older. When you want your brain to be on all cylinders and you want to function, I know me. When I go to these health functions, people say, girl, you'll never come to the nighttime stuff. No, because I need to go to bed. And see, I get up early. I get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I can't go to bed constantly at 12 and 1 and get up at 4. I'm not functional. And even if I am functioning, I don't like the way I feel. So I need to sleep. Successful people need sleep. When you want to be successful, you need to go to bed. Okay? Go your own way. That's kind of with the uniqueness. A lot of us want to go along to get along. We want to be conformers. Conformers is not what's going to get you to your vision. You're not going to be able to live out someone else's vision. You have to live yours. If you want to truly be happy in your success and not just be somebody making money but hate what you do. We know there are people out there like that. There are people that have committed suicide, that are wealthy. You have to find that thing that's your way, that's your vision, that's your dream, and that's what you got to do. You'll stay happy in that level of success. This is another one. Seek simplicity. I'm on number 54. You got to seek simplicity. Some of the stuff y'all be trying to do, I did a hands-on class called Knowing Your Numbers. It's a class I do about money, and y'all need to take it. I'm going to have a webinar, so knowledgebynikki.com. I'm uploading everything all week. You'll have that webinar, Knowing Your Numbers. You want to get your money right? Because I know about having your money wrong and getting it right. Knowing Your Numbers is it. And she was telling me, and I told her respectfully, she said what she does is she has like 6 bank accounts. And she has, let me explain it right. It works for her though. So I said, do you if it works for you. She has one bank account, business bank account, where all the money comes in. And she uses one credit processor for that. Then she has another bank account for her personal account, where I guess she processes from some different system for what has to go in personally. Then she has other businesses that she has where it's a whole nother process. Now, we ain't talking about no corporation that really need these many processes to me. Then she has another business that has where the money goes in there. But dig this, that ain't it. She has at least 2 or 3 separate accounts that are part, like for instance, her business account, she has the money that goes in. Then she has another business account where it's all only expenses. Then she has another business account where it's all automatic drafts. So she got like 3 business accounts, and they're all 3 for different stuff. Then she's mimicked the same thing with the other parts of her business. Now, all I told her, I said, girl, hey, if that's what worked for you, do you. That would drive me bananas. There is no way I could do all that. I need it to be a little simpler for me. I need everything coming to one source, and I just need to go to one source to be able to do what I need to do. But I told her, if it works for you, do you. But there are other things in our lives that we have done that is not as important as money, that we just make it too complicated. It is not that complicated. So we got to simplify our lives. Joyce Myers writes a book. It's an old book. It's called 100 Ways to Simplify Your Life. It is really, really good. And part of it is decluttering. Part of it is decluttering. It's like Clutter, I don't know about y'all. I did a Facebook Live year and some change ago about a cluttered life. A cluttered life breeds a cluttered mind. I don't know how people think around clutter. I can't do it. And one thing you'll find in every book that you will read that talks about simplifying your life, it talks about decluttering. So we got to find ways to make things simpler. However it works for you. I don't knock nobody's system. If it works for you, do it. But I know I got to do mine a little simpler. Then we have what's called do it today. How many of y'all just procrastinators? Everything is tomorrow. I do it tomorrow. I do it tomorrow. Why? What's wrong with today? Let me tell you something. I used to tell this story, and I'm going to make it as simple as I can. I used to say, I get up in the morning, or I used to get up in the morning, cook breakfast, don't want to go out. So I got, all breakfast dishes, skillets and griddles and all this stuff. And I got all this stuff dirty. And then I get a phone call. And I get a phone call that requires me to leave home. Now, I got all these dishes in the sink. Ain't loading no dishwasher. Ain't did nothing. And I got all these dishes in the sink. And then I go do whatever I got to do because of this phone call. And I done went out. And now then, when you go out, what do you tell yourself? Well, since I'm out, I might as well do this. Since I'm out, I might as well. So here it is. I come back. It's lunchtime. I done came back. My intent is I'm going to wash them dishes when I come back. I'm going to wash them. So now it's lunchtime. Now I'm hungry again. I don't want to go out and get no food. So guess what, y'all? Then I got to make lunch, right? So now I done got some more dishes. And now I'm cooking whatever for lunch. And I done got another pot and another this and that. So then I get through and then I get another emergency or something that pulls me away from the kitchen. I done ate, but now I got breakfast dishes and I got lunch dishes. And then, once again, now I got to be pulled away. I ain't got time because now it's more. So I don't have time to do all of this. So what I got to do? I got to leave or do whatever I got to do, put my attention somewhere else. And that takes me 3-4 hours. So now it's dinner time. Y'all see where I'm going, right? Now it's dinner time. Now, I ain't done nothing with none of these dishes. These dishes sitting, ain't been loaded in the dishwasher, ain't been washed, nothing. Now it's dinner time. Now, here I am. It's time to eat again. And now I'm cooking dinner. Now I done pulled out crock pots and this and that and the other and this and that and the other. And then here, after dinner, I done sat down, me and my husband, and ate. We done talked, we done laughed. And guess what now? My day been so crazy. Now I'm tired. I'm tired. And now I'm looking at all these dishes in my sink, whether they got to be loaded in the dishwasher or whatever I got to do with them. All of them won't even fit in the dishwasher. How many of y'all been there? Well, you mad because all of them won't fit. You wish you had 2 dishwashers because you really don't want to wash none of them. And then you say, I'm so tired. I'm just tired. I know I don't typically go to bed with dishes in my sink, but I'm tired and I'm going to sleep. And you say this, I do it in the morning. And guess what happens in the morning, y'all? Life starts all over again. And now you got breakfast dishes, you got lunch dishes, you got dinner dishes, and it's time to eat again. And let me tell you what happens with our lives. We keep saying tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow with everything, and now you got a pile of stuff that you overwhelmed. You don't even know where to start because you put everything off. When you weren't doing nothing, it wasn't going to take you but a second. So now we have this overwhelming load that we just sit and look at like, I don't even know what to do with this. That's why we got to do it today. Take care of breakfast dishes at breakfast. I don't care what you got to do. Make it a priority. When I leave here, I'm not leaving no dishes in this sink. I'm washing them. When I come back, how many of you all hairstylists? I'm going to talk to my hairstylist. How many of you all have finished your day 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 hours, 17. I was doing 17 back in the day regularly. And you are dead tired. You don't feel like cleaning no station. You don't feel like washing out no combs. You don't really feel like doing nothing. I used to do that. I used to be so exhausted that I would say I will do it in the morning. And I remember every morning I would come back and look at that mess. It would drive me bananas. I would say I should have did because I don't feel like cleaning up yesterday's mess. I conditioned myself. I don't care if it was 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. I am cleaning this up today because tomorrow is a new day. And I don't want to deal with today's stuff tomorrow. Period. And I would be cross-eyed tired. Like, I don't care. I'm going to sweep. I'm going to wipe the base of this chair. I'm going to mop around. Whatever I got to do, I'm going to wipe. And it felt so good to come in the next day and that place was clean. Y'all give me a little shout out if y'all know what I'm talking about. It is a great feeling to come in on a new day to stuff that's clean and not yesterday's stuff. So I had to and I used to be so like, God, I want to go home, be crying like I want to go home, but I had to do it, right? Then we talk about, all right, now this is something, I'm going to stop here because I'm going to go to 60. Seek experiences over things. Let me tell y'all something. This is the difference, and I know I probably got all nationalities on here. This is the difference in black people and white people. Black people, if they had $2,000, they will go buy their kid or themselves something value, either that eats up all the $2,000 or just one thing that was $2,000. White people will go on a trip, or they'll send their kids somewhere that they haven't been exposed to. I cannot explain how much I get it, that the difference between the average black kid from the hood and say the average Caucasian kid that's from a middle class neighborhood is exposure. White people believe in their kids having experiences. Black people believe in their kids having stuff. And I need to ask, and I'm going to tell you, the stuff will come and go, and you ain't thought no more about them shoes, that car, that coat, that purse. You ready to go get another one. But experiences will last you for a lifetime. Experiences and going places and seeing how other people do what they do, it is the thing that starts to shape your life. It shapes your thinking. You realize there's more than one way to skin a cat. And I'm not talking about just going somewhere kicking it. I'm talking about seeing how people live, their culture, learning about them. It changes your world. It expands your world. It lets you know you have more options than you thought you had. If you give me $5,000, I'm probably invested really. But if you give me $5,000, I ain't buying nothing. I'm trying to learn something. Look, I'm going to pay for a coaching program. I'm going to pay for an experience. I'm going to pay for, and I ain't saying we ain't got to just kick it every now and again. That is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying think about where you spend the mass or the most of your money. Don't spend the masses of your money on things. Spend it on experiences. Go to school, take a course, go to a boot camp. Go on a vacation where you're learning something from where you're going. Get you some experiences so you realize the world is bigger than just what you know. There's more out there. The people who have shallow minds is because they ain't seen nothing, they ain't been nowhere, and they don't know nothing. That is the reason why you live in this box. You got to get out of that, but the world is bigger than that. And it's a whole lot of people in this world happy that don't live like you. So what makes them so happy? They ain't doing what you do. So we have to get out. And John Maxwell, I may be misquoting how he says it, but he says it in a bunch of his books. He said, when you start having more experiences and more encounters with more people that are not like you, your world becomes different. And you actually have more tolerance for people that are different than you. You have that's why everybody that knows me knows that Jesus is Christianity is what I believe in. I stand flat-footed. I don't waver. I don't mince words. I let people know what side my bread is buttered on, and that is Jesus. But I got friends that are Muslim. I got friends that are Buddhist. And we ain't trying to convert each other, because I respect them and they respect me. But we come together and we have the absolute best conversations of life, because I'm all right with them. I'm all right with them choosing whatever they choose. And matter of fact, we be asking each other questions like, why y'all do this? And it is a great camaraderie, but it is because I've allowed myself to be exposed that my tolerance for people that are different than me, I'm okay with that. We all God's children. That's the way I see it. And who am I to tell you who, what, why, how? Now, as long as you ain't trying to convert me and disrespecting what I believe in, we good. We good. So you have to seek experiences over things. Then we got, you have to have clear written goals. Crystal clear. I don't care if you got to write them on a board, on a wall, on a post-it. I don't care where you got to write them. But you need some clear written goals. Writing makes it real. Writing also, when you write stuff down, it makes you accountable to yourself. If nobody else, write it down. Put it on something. Stick it on your wall. Stick it on your mirror. And start living out these things that actually you say you want to do, because you got to get it out of your head. You got to take it out of here and put it on some paper, come up with some strategies, seek help, ask people. You got to do some stuff that's going to make this real. Or you just talking and you just got good intentions. You know how many people I deal with good, they got great intentions. I intended on it. Okay, when you going to do it? When are you actually going to do it? You have to do more than just think it, okay, at some point. Then you have to, now listen to this, give reading your full attention. I know y'all hear me talk a lot about reading. I'm telling y'all, reading changed my life. And I hated to read. Hated to read. Girl, I ain't reading nothing. That's the way I was back in the day. It was John Maxwell's book, How Successful People Think, that started me reading too. That's what really, I think it's in this car. Y'all, yep, look, it's in the car. And it's, I don't know why it's here. Y'all see this? This is the book that really started me reading. I was sitting in the airport stuck for 9 hours, had done everything, ate, slept, went to the spa, and got nothing else to do. I said, okay, I'm going to have to read something because I still got 3 more hours. I read that book in that 3 hours that I was sitting there, and it changed my life. So I knew at that point I wasn't where I could just pick up a book. So I think back then, I don't know if Audible was available then, but I started buying the disc. You could buy audiobooks on disc. I said maybe I could listen to them because I always love being in my car. So maybe I could just listen to them. This is what started reading. And I'm going to tell y'all, when I started reading, now mind y'all, this is back in the day when I'm doing 17-hour days at the shop. So don't tell me about y'all can't read nothing. I was doing as more hours than a whole bunch of people. And what I would do, I didn't care if it took me 3-4 months to get through a whole book. Every time I got in my car, I would, instead of the radio, I would put that audio book into this thing and I would listen to it. This is what started me to learning. It literally started me learning and saying, I could do this different, and then eventually this is what I started doing. Now you can do Audible. Of course, I got Audible now. It's $14.95 a month through Amazon. You get 1 free book. That's what 1 book costs. Or you can just buy the books. And I actually do both. I have Audible and I actually buy the books. But leaders read. Leaders read. They just do. They read. Okay? And then I'm going to do 2 more, and then I'm going to be done for the day. You got to have thick skin. Y'all know what I mean? Hey, Daria. I ain't forgot you, Daria. Me and Daria are supposed to talk 2 weeks ago. Call me, Daria, later today. Okay? Or I'll call you. You got to have thick skin. You got to have, let me tell you something about what successful people have got to realize is that if you are a true people pleaser, or if everything people say about you literally dictates your actions, you are in trouble. You are in so much trouble. You got to get some thick skin. You got to be able to take a gut punch. You got to be able to take not being liked. You got to sometimes just be able to take it and keep moving and keep moving and say whatever and keep it going. You got to. It is, thick skin is something that only starts when you stop letting people, I don't care if it's your mama, your husband, your kids, you cannot let people constantly sway you from what you know you're supposed to do. You cannot do it. You got to have some, like toad-like skin, some titanium skin, because sometimes it's going to require you, as I said earlier, to go your own way. Sometimes you just gonna have to, and you're gonna have to take not being popular, not making popular decisions. Sometimes you're gonna have to take what comes with it. You know what? All of us sit back and admire people that no matter what people say, they don't care. They keep on doing it. All of us secretly admire those people, even if we talk about them too, because it's something to be said about people, especially like celebrities, that could take a hit and just keep on moving. You know, I love people like Whoopi Goldberg. I remember Whoopi Goldberg said she was born with no eyebrows. And this was years ago. And I remember her always talking about how people, every time she would be in like makeup chairs and all that, they always want to put eyebrows on her. And she would just be fighting like, no, God didn't give me none, so I ain't supposed to have none. And she would just be fighting. And I just remember even other things about her life because she didn't fit the image of the status quo, or she was like, I'm not wearing that. I'm not wearing no heels. She fought to be uniquely her. And look where she is today. Because let me tell you something about when you get thick skin and you are uniquely you. Eventually, the people who don't like you or don't appreciate what you do will come to respect you, because the one thing they'll be able to say about you is you never wavered. You never wavered. You never conformed. You still were you, no matter what. That, I'm telling y'all, it is. You got to be able to take the hits now. You may have to ride this thing alone sometime. You may have to be an alien sometime, but it is worth it. There are people, I've been an alien all my life. Even when I was a kid, I was different than everybody else. People don't even know it, but some people do. I went through some bullying because of that, because I was so different, and I would always be protected by other people, but I didn't care what it was. I'm not doing that. I don't care if everybody do that. I'm not doing that. So I was always the oddball. Always. When I went into salons before I owned my own, I was always the girl in the salon that everybody hated, because I just didn't operate like other people. I didn't think like them. I just didn't. And I had to develop tough skin so I didn't become a conformer, because I can't be you. I can't be you all. I can't do what you all do. And it put me in outcast situations all the time. But let me tell you something. Them same girls that couldn't stand me, they sit in my classes today. And they love on me. They buy everything I got. They come to my conferences, because they have even told me, girl, you've always been you. Yes, I have. But it took some thick skin to take them, to constantly have your character assassinated and have darts thrown at you and have people try to sabotage stuff that you, it took some thick skin. I had to develop. Now, girl, I'm tough as nails. It don't even matter to me now. I'll be like, sound like you got a problem. It ain't my problem. But I had to go through, like, why are they bothering me? I ain't bothering nobody. And I'm sure some of y'all can relate. It's hard being a target. It's hard having people lie on you. It's hard when you won't do what people want you to do, to develop this skin of nails and still walk in a place where you know they can't stand you and still smile and still speak. I was in a salon where them girls hated me. I spoke to those girls every single day and they wouldn't speak back. I didn't care. I said I'm going to still speak to them every single day till I left. They did everything they could to break me, but they didn't. And it was, I'm working 17 hours up in a salon where I know if people could set me on fire, they would. So I had to develop some tough skin because I believed in what I was doing and I wasn't bothering nobody. And and now I see them girls today. I love on them. They love on me. They done matured. We good. But it has developed me into what I am today. And I'm like, whew. God, I'm so glad that's over. I'm so sick of these people bothering me, but I stuck to the course, and I had to. I had to develop some thick skin, or I was going to conform, and I wasn't doing that, okay? And then last but not least, and it's not the last, I'm only at 60, y'all. We got 40 more, so y'all tune in every day this week, is that being generous. You know what I have learned, and this is actually a further extension of being generous. It is something to be said, to be a giver to people who all they do is take. Do you know how hard it is to be generous to people who don't deserve it? As the Bible says, to love those who despitefully use you or just don't deserve any of your generosity. It is nothing like getting to a place where, and I'm just not talking about being nice to people who nice to you. That's easy. I'm talking about being generous to even undeserving people. To be a person that shows people this is what contributors do. This is what givers do. Now, I don't care. I had to develop the mentality. Every time I give, I ain't looking for nobody to give it back. I'm not looking for if they do, fine. If they don't, because I believe in my heart and I got stupid faith, God has always taken care of me. And if that means God sometimes will send people who were not the recipients of what I gave, but he'll send people who now contribute to my life because I was generous. So I ain't looking for it from necessarily for the people that actually I contributed to, but it is a written law that it is a blessing. More of a blessing to give than to receive. So you have to get your mindset into the process of giving, even when they don't deserve it. Now, I ain't talking about handicapping nobody. I'm not talking about y'all out here that's giving to people and they don't do jack and they just take. I ain't talking about making rotten children. I'm not talking about that, because I'm about discipline and letting you know that, no, this ain't how life goes. I'm talking about there are many things, there are many organizations, there's things all over the world that we can contribute to and give. And I'm not talking about also always giving where somebody can see it. I'm talking about giving from your heart, whether people know or they don't know. Don't only give when you can get accolades for it. That is not, you doing that for you. You ain't doing that for them. I'm talking about successful people. I believe this in my heart. All of them had to come to a point where they were contributors more than takers. You can't just keep taking and think you're going to keep being successful. And that means you have to just make up in your mind, this is what I'm going to do. And I ain't going to worry about what comes back, because I'm a witness, y'all. I am a living testament to God has taken care of me in ways that I cannot even explain. And it did not come from the people that I gave to. That ain't where it came from. And so I get how it works. I get the laws of sowing and reaping. I get it. It don't mean that you're going to get it from the same people. So y'all just be all right with that. Are y'all cool with that? Y'all going to roll with me tomorrow? Knowledge by Nikki at 9? Because we got 40 more to go through. 40 more. This is the book, y'all. Put it back up. Look, I'm here at IKEA. I got to buy some shelves. Y'all see this? 100 Things Successful People Do by Nigel Cumberland. I put it in the caption today. Y'all, if you all have any questions, y'all know I do training. I do all kind of stuff. I do coaching. I'm going to talk more about that. I'm trying to get our minds right. I got my Salon Owners Conference. I got all that going on. Y'all put me in your, I don't even know how to call it or do it. You know, on a Facebook thing where notifications, that's what I'm trying to say, where you can hear me. I'll be on every day at 9 o'clock this week, every single day. Okay. Every day. This is my week I don't work. Praise God. Woo woo. So I'll be on every day at 9 o'clock. So we're going to go through this thing because I'm trying to get your mind right. And then we go into saving and getting our money right. That sound good? Because we got to get our money right. We cannot go into 2019 doing the same things financially. Because I'm sorry to tell y'all, I know y'all love doing hair. I know this is your passion, but without money, you can't move. It's hard to move without money. It's hard to move. So we got to make some shifts, some changes. We got to do some things differently, guys. It's just what we got to do. So I hope y'all enjoyed today. This is Knowledge by Nikki at 9. I see IKEA is open. I got to go get some shelves because y'all know I'm changing some stuff, right? Y'all already know. So I got to go get some shelves and do what I need to do. I will see y'all tomorrow. Go on knowledgebynikki.com. Every day this week, I just put some new stuff up. I'm putting more up. I'm going to be on the grind, getting everything up there. So Knowledge by Nikki with 1K.com. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.